first Q&A vlog with Tian, which is why it's set up like this, because she's about to join me. We're going to talk about our time in Australia until the camera dies. So I hope you enjoy this vlog. So we've got our coffees and teas. This week marks 6 months since I've been in Australia, which is crazy. I got here the 1st of November, and soon it'll be Tian's year.
Yeah, my god.
In Australia. So
yeah,
this is why I wanted to film this vlog, because I wanted to reflect on these questions myself. I put out there on Instagram, asked people what they want to know. Like, I haven't, to be honest, caught up with anybody on FaceTime really. I FaceTimed Hannah once.
I'm so bad for doing that though.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because time goes so quickly out here that you don't realise like time's actually probably going quite slow at home. And then relatives are like, haven't spoken to you in months, and I'm like, oh god, yeah, has it been that long?
I haven't had a proper conversation with some people since I left. That's one of the reasons I wanted to film this as well.
Yeah.
Because then we can catch up with people.
I'll just send this to my nans. Sorry, nans. Love you.
Now I've got some questions that we can answer. Tian's been here for longer than me, so more has probably happened for you. You've had some interesting experiences in the outback. So for me, I feel like quite a bit has changed. Like, in terms of, I came out here in a relationship and now I'm single.
Oh my god, yeah, massive change.
Yeah. I got here and I travelled the East Coast. Typical like thing that everybody does when they get here. Just spent loads of money for 3 months. Travelling, having cool experiences, like taking a scenic flight over the Whitsundays and going on Fraser Island. Stuff that I actually sell now as a community team member at Welcome to Travel. So I've also managed to get myself a job in Melbourne, which I've been in for, I started mid-March after pitch. A few days after pitch festival, so mid-April, mid-May. I've nearly been there for 2 months. And I've actually been working in hospitality a little bit as well, and I haven't actually worked in a restaurant before, and I haven't worked in hospitality since I was younger. Joined Absolute MMA, so I've been training and trying to pick that up as a hobby again. And also have been to a few festivals, so me and Tian went to Pitch Festival. So that is essentially my 6 months here. I feel like I wouldn't say I've changed as a person.
Found myself.
Yeah, I haven't found myself. I feel actually more lost than when I got here, because I was with David before, so I feel like we had like a life together, and now we've had to go separate ways, so it's different not speaking to him every day. For 3 months I travelled, and then for the other 3 months I've been trying to work and save. So I'll come on to at the end what I'm thinking of doing with the rest of my 6 months, but you can go on and tell them about your year in Oz nearly.
I know, I actually can't believe it's been a year, that's crazy.
About a year ago this time, you would have been, what, in Thailand?
Yeah.
I was preparing to go to Thailand. This is 4th of May, so...
This time a year ago I think I was just packing, probably stressing, trying to... I think I left my job because I had 6 weeks off of work before I came out to Australia, which was really nice. And then June I did 2 weeks in Thailand with Nia.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Me and Tian are going to plan a trip to Asia.
Because yeah, obviously I only did 2 weeks, and I feel like it definitely wasn't enough. And there was things that I wanted to do that I didn't do. Also Vietnam. I really wanted to see Vietnam, and I didn't get to see that. So...
Is there anywhere else in Asia that you wanted to do but you didn't do? Like Laos, Myanmar?
I've never heard of those places.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I literally just, when I think of Asia, I think of Thailand.
I know, that is the typical touristy backpacker place. But that's why it's getting more expensive now, because everybody goes there, whereas other places are...
I'd be so up
cheaper.
for going anywhere, really. Like,
my friend Liv, who I used to work with at Sage, she went to Laos and Myanmar, and she said that they were like some of the best places she went to when she went around Southeast Asia.
oh, really?
And obviously you've got the Philippines, which I've already done.
Yeah.
But there are places in the Philippines I want to go. I just think it would be weird for me to go there with friends now, because I went there with David.
Create new memories.
Yeah, different islands.
Yeah. I don't know, like, would you recommend the Philippines?
Yeah, it's like more beautiful than Australia, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Thailand is as well.
But it's more like, you don't have like greyhounds and stuff. You really have to plan your own, unless you're doing a tour. You have to really plan your route. A bit more like Thailand in that sense, where you can get around without the tour group, but you have to look into like flying to every island. So it's worth going to. I'd definitely do it if I was you.
Yeah, I think like me and Nia kind of did Thailand as like flash packers. We were not acting like backpackers. We were rinsing our money. We were getting flights everywhere when we should have been getting overnight trains. I think that was like back when I first started. I didn't really have a clue about how to do things cheaply. So our money just started going really quickly, and we were like, we better get to Australia because you need a certain amount of money in your account to be able to get into Australia.
And you thought they were going to check it?
Yeah, I thought it was.
They check it when you apply for your visa, I'm pretty sure. Like, you have to send a screenshot of how much money's in your bank account. But then after that, they don't, like, say... Imagine you're at the bank account on your flight and they're like, can I see your bank statement? Right
yeah,
now?
I know. I didn't really know how it worked, but, like, when... we've definitely read that somewhere before that it was, like, you need a certain amount in your account, otherwise you can't get into the country.
There were certain things that what you didn't do because Nia didn't want to do them.
I guess so. Like, I probably would have got like a moped. That's how everybody gets around on the island. Would you?
I want to, but I know at the same time I'm going to be really nervous. But I have.
No, but we can just like buddy up with people and get on the backs of people's mopeds. We don't have to drive them.
I'll do it. I reckon I'll do it. I want to do the hashtag loop.
I have to now.
I want to do the hashtag loop as well.
Is this the farm man? Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. This is not who I thought I was ringing. Who's this?
Oh, hi. Sorry, this is Tian. I think I rang you about the farm work earlier.
Tian, I thought you were someone else and I pushed the wrong button. No,
oh, sorry.
My name's Steve.
Hi, yeah. Sorry, I just got your number from a friend. I was wondering if you had any jobs going on the farm at the minute.
I had a call yesterday from a guy called Mike. And he's sort of ahead of the queue, but I'm going to the farm tomorrow because it's just changing owners. And I need to talk to each of the staff we have there, they're backpackers.
Okay.
To see when they're finishing up because a few of them have been there a couple of months now, so they'll be just about have done their 88 days. And so once I know that, I can give you a call back and let you know.
Okay, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Tian, was it?
Yeah, Tian.
Tian. Okay, Tian, I will give you a call sometime tomorrow, okay?
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
No worries, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Ooh, I love how that all happened naturally while we were filming this.
Gonna work on an egg
Martin's
farm.
the guy that I passed the number to yesterday.
I feel bad that like he's like, oh, they've been there a few months. I'm literally gonna be there for what, 4 weeks and be like, see ya. Oh,
I guess some people go to the farm though and they're like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I could just be like, oh, there's been a family emergency, like, go fly home.
Typical excuse. So like when you came over from Asia and you landed in Cairns, didn't you? So on like
I landed
July?
in Darwin. I did Darwin for 5 days, which wasn't enough.
I travel so much more than me. What am I doing?
I
only
feel
know
like
the
I've
East
seen
Coast.
everywhere. Yeah, but we've just done it a bit differently. That's all. Like you've worked as soon as you got here, really. Whereas for me, I travelled a bit.
I just did the East Coast straight away and didn't work for 4 months.
Like you've done the East Coast.
I just want to be like in proper Australia.
It doesn't really matter which way around you do things. So I did Darwin for 5 days. Then I was in Cairns. And I lived in Cairns for 7 weeks in the most famous party hostel in Australia.
I don't know how you did that.
Which most people just book 2 nights there. I lived there for 7 weeks.
I thought it was a nice hostel anyway. I can see
nice.
how you can live there, but then at the same time you've got music pumping every night, which is why you went out so much.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, I rinsed all of my money in Cairns. But for me, like, Cairns was probably my favourite part of Australia because it's where I met everyone that I know now. I just had such a nice little social life there. I was working in a little cafe, but I wasn't getting many hours. But yeah, for me, I just think it was worth doing because that's where I met everyone, and I would recommend that anybody coming to Australia as like a lone backpacker just starts in Cairns, I think.
Yeah, because Sydney and Melbourne, because they're like a city like London. If you imagine, if you're in the UK right now and you imagine just moving to London, I feel like you really have to engage in your hobbies to make friends or be like make yourself part of hostel life. If you were to go to St Kilda and stay in base hostel though, I feel like you'd make friends there definitely. But in Cairns everyone's a backpacker, right? So yeah, it's like it's just such a small like little community, yeah. And like everybody goes to the same nights. It's Salt House Mondays, PJs Wednesdays, so you just see everyone that you know all the time. So. Cairns was where I said I was going to do my days.
It's where most people think that they're going to do their days, but then realise they can't get enough hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy you're seeing.
Oh my God, don't put that in.
Why?
You'll watch it and be like, seeing.
You did some of your days in Cairns.
Yeah, I did. I started doing my days in Cairns.
How many did you do in the outback? Because that's where you went next, isn't it?
I'd say I probably did about 20 days in Cairns of my 80.
Over those
Of my
16
88.
weeks.
Yeah.
You've been in Cairns for 16 weeks with this job in a cafe.
7 weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks, and you did 20 days.
But like, so the first half I was in Cairns, I didn't have a job. So I was just going out, not working, and it wasn't until the end that I got a job, wasn't getting enough hours, and then me, Nia, Luke, and my friend Betsy were like, they were hoping to go and like smash out and get their 88 days somewhere else. I was on the verge of like not going with them. I remember like the day that we went to go and see this recruiter, and I was like almost in tears because I was like, I don't want to go. I was like, I don't want to work. It just sounded horrible. They were like, yeah, it's going to be like 40-50 hours a week. You're just going to smash out loads of work. You're not going to have a social life. And I was just like, I was just having a stroke. And I was like, I don't want to go with you. I was like, I want to stay in Cairns.
But that is the solution to saving money while you're doing your days. Live somewhere really remote.
Yeah.
And that's how you.
I'm so glad I did it now. Yeah, like Nia and Luke talked some sense into me, and they were like, we're not going to force you, but they were like, like this is probably what you need to do if you want enough money to do the East Coast.
How much was your accommodation a week?
I'm so glad I went now. In the outback.
Yeah.
I think we paid $130 a week for accommodation.
But you shared a bed with Betsy, so you had
we
one
were
room.
meant to have our own rooms, but the only reason that me and Betsy ended up sharing a bed is because there was rat poo in her room.
So she was like, ah! And she came running in and stayed in your
so
room.
it was meant to be like, we'll share a bed for a bit until they sort out
rat,
the
the least of
problem.
your worries in the outback.
There was rat. Oh my God, there was so much. Yeah.
What rats? What else did you see? What
Right. There were frogs that lived in our house. There was a frog that lived in our toilet.
Toads.
No, the tree frog lived in our toilet.
Yeah.
She was really cute. So we had two toilets. We had like one toilet in the house, and then we had the toilet in the back that nobody really used apart from Luke. And she lived in that toilet, and she would literally just be like, just in the like waiting.
I want to put a picture of that toad.
Yeah.
Toad.
She's just like protective over her toilet. She's like,
my home.
Yeah, and then sometimes you catch her just like chilling on the ledge.
Oh.
Yeah. So she could get out. She wasn't stuck.
Are you sure she wasn't a poisonous toad then?
No, she was a tree frog. We asked people, but then there were toads just everywhere else. Like you'd be walking home from work in the dark and they're jumping over your feet.
Yeah, they come out in the dark. When I was in
Yeah.
Magnetic Island, I had to walk from one side of the island to the other at like midnight, and there was loads of toads in the road.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like, it was really weird. Like 10 weeks in the outback, I didn't see any big spiders. I just saw frogs and bats. I honestly see more spiders at home in Liverpool than I have in Australia.
Quite a few in this house. I was going to say as well, we haven't even like told people, if you don't know us, if you know me but you don't know Tian. Whenever I introduce you, I'm like, I've known her since I was 3 years old. So we've been friends since we were like in reception, and how we met is quite a funny story. So do you want to tell them?
What about you squeezing my hand?
Yeah.
Well, we were in reception and we were sat on the carpet listening to like story time or something, I don't know. And there was just like this little blonde girl like sat next to me, and I think she was just like, she's like digging her nails into my arm.
Oh my God.
And then I think I must have like, maybe the teachers like noticed, and I was like, I can't even remember.
I'm traumatized.
But yeah, you were just like digging your nails into my arm, and I was like, what's this girl's problem? But I think that was her way of saying she wanted to be friends.
Didn't know how to express myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird little 3-year-old. So that's how we met. We are currently in Melbourne living together. For most of the time we've lived in Melbourne, we've been sharing a bed to make it cheaper as well. Because Airbnbs and short stays, they're a lot more expensive than if you get yourself like a long stay or rent somewhere. So yeah, we've been sharing beds, and we're about to share beds again from Monday onwards for the next like 6 weeks, potentially, if Tian doesn't go off to that egg farm with the guy that just rang her,
I think like sharing a bed hasn't been bad though, because if we'd come straight from home and we're like, oh, we're going straight into sharing a bed, that would have been a bit hard. But obviously I was living in hostels for 9 months,
That's
so then sharing a bed with Vicky was like a dream after that.
Yeah, if you think about where we could be in hostels with people we don't know, which is like can be fun. Obviously, like me and Tian sleep quite well together because we're pretty quiet when we sleep, and neither of us snore. Yeah, we just sit like on our own like side sometimes, or I rolled onto Tian like twice, I think.
Yeah.
Like by mistake. But yeah, considering that we could be in hostels with strangers in a bunk bed, like it's not too bad.
We'll see about that.
Okay, we're just debating what questions to answer because like we had so many questions from you guys from like Instagram.
Just so many.
So many.
Blew up.
So thanks for submitting your questions, guys. Dating life. I feel like sitting here now like laughing and stuff isn't actually a representation of how I've actually been, because I've been processing it more the past few weeks than I have been directly after we broke up, so it's been hard. Anyway, like, have we been dating? So like we both downloaded dating apps because
we made a deal. I hadn't bothered with dating at all in Australia, being too busy. And then obviously Vicky went through her breakups. We were like, right, let's make a deal. We both got to download Hinge, and we both got to have a date by the end of was it the week?
Yeah, I think so.
And that happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Because we both like, or maybe the following week, because we were both talking to people, and then you know how it happens on dating apps. Yours was a proper date, whereas mine was just like, oh, let's just go for a drink.
Yeah.
And I had work, but he was catching a flight home. So
yeah,
like the same day.
Quick drink before.
Yeah, mine was just a quick drink. It was meant to be one, but we had a bottle of wine in like an hour. Then I went to work, but then he flew home to the UK.
Peak timing for you, that one.
Peak. Yeah, but then at the same time, I think it wasn't long after I broke up with David, so I probably need this time to actually, like, if anything's going to happen or if it's going to go anywhere, I needed this time to leave it longer. Like, I should be single for longer before I jump into dating.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But at the time when I broke up with David, I do feel like I was like, I know what I want. I want a relationship, and David doesn't like want to commit. So for me, I felt like I knew what I wanted. I just need time. I don't really know what I want anymore.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, there's something wrong with dating around, and sometimes it does help you to decide what kind of person you want as well.
Yeah. Not the Aussie guy.
What type of person you connect with better. Yeah, and
not a private school Aussie boy who's obsessed with footy. AFL.
Sunday footy.
That one I met in person, so I think like meeting people in person is better than dating apps. Just in the past, that's been my experience. Like dating's been easier, or like meeting someone's been better in person at like a drum and bass event than it has been on like dating apps. But again, I obviously haven't ruled out meeting people on dating apps because I downloaded it again. It was a pastime to like, I don't know.
I think it was just something fun for us to do. It was like a little distraction from how you were feeling, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
As you've seen from a previous vlog, like ignoring your feelings and trying to like distract yourself isn't always the best thing, but then sometimes it's just like a coping mechanism to just do that. So now your boy's gone.
Oh boy.
So the boy you went on a date with actually ended up being like someone you dated like or saw like 8 times at least. You saw him like weekly, didn't you, on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I guess so.
And it was a good way to see Melbourne as well, because you had someone to go to like markets with, and you had someone to like go to different bars with and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we had like a really nice little like friendship, and we still keep in contact now, so that's nice.
I guess because you're going home.
Like we always knew like it had an end date because he was going to do the East Coast, I'm going home, so. Yeah.
But then at the same time, sometimes you don't know, or like what I'm trying to say is like it doesn't just end there for you, like because you're still friends and stuff. You haven't stopped speaking. So
yeah, exactly.
Things would have been really different if I hadn't come out to Australia, because like David said when we broke up, we probably would have stayed together had we not come out to Australia. But it was something that we both wanted to do and experience, and wanted to live in another country and wanted to see what all the fuss was about. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that wouldn't have necessarily been the best thing if you'd stayed at home and just stayed together, because you never would have tested your relationship.
Yeah.
And then I think you would have had problems further down the line.
Yeah, the whole commitment thing for him was always going to be there.
Yeah.
With me. I don't know, living in Melbourne is really similar to the UK, so I don't feel like right now, and since I moved to Melbourne, I've been having different experiences. I feel like all my experiences have been very similar to like living in London.
Yeah, Melbourne is very similar to living at home. I don't necessarily feel like I'm in Australia anymore.
No. Like in response to this, I would say like I don't think I've got out of Australia what I wanted to get out of it so far. I feel like I probably should do something different. But you don't regret coming to Australia, do you? You feel like
my god, no, I think that was 100% the best decision for me. I was in such a rut when I was at home. This has been one of, sounds stupid, but best years of my life.
Aww. You've made so many good friends as well, like Betsy, Molly, and all them.
Met lots of nice people.
Yeah. And you've definitely grown, because you and Nia came out here together, and then you went off solo like after that. Like you weren't with anybody from home for like a majority of like
the East Coast and everything. Yeah, I guess so.
So you have kind of solo travelled in a way.
Yeah, in a way, but like I met them when Nia was still here, so I never really had a moment of, oh, I'm fully on my own. But I think that was perfect for me, because I'm not sure I would have had the balls to do what Vicky did and come out by myself. If I came on my own, I would have done a tour.
Yeah.
Definitely. They sound really fun, the way people talk about them. Sounds like a Love Island. We met this group in Magnetic Island, and it was just like a massive group of like boys and girls, and they were like, oh yeah, we're all on the same tour together. They were like, oh, it feels like Love Island, because we've only really known each other a few weeks, but we all feel like brother and sister, because we spent like every minute of the day together. And they were like, and people like come and go, like some people leave the tour early. I guess different to like a welcome tour.
Slightly. Because I know someone who did like a tour up in Darwin, but he joined the tour, and people had already done the East Coast together, and then they did Darwin, so like everybody knew each other. And then at the end you had newbies, so like it's like on Love Island when they invite like newer people in. I don't even watch it, but
yeah,
you know, on TV programs when they invite like, they throw in like new characters.
Bombshells.
Yeah. And out of the whole year you've been here, do you feel like you've got homesick at all, like at any time?
Not too much. Oh, look here. Not too much, but there's been times. So I think because Christmas time I was having so much fun that like me and all the girls that I was with experienced the same thing, that as soon as Christmas was over and done with, in January we all had like massive blues, because I think we were kind of like, right, we've done the East Coast, we've done Christmas, and then we were like, what's next? And I think because we were like, oh, just where do we go from here? Like all of our plans have just ended.
January was so weird because nobody knew what to do.
Nobody had plans after Christmas. Like everything had been planned up until that point. So January I did have a bit of a wobble, and I was like looking at flights home.
Maybe that's me right now wobbling, and I'm like, I'm going home in August. But
yeah, I think that might be a wobble.
You think it's a wobble?
I think you're wobbling because you know I'm going home.
Have you tried these? They're like cheddars. This flavour, they are exactly like cheddars. If I said close your eyes, taste this, what's this? You would say it's a cheddar, mini cheddar.
I mean, I was like, what's a cheddar?
Mini cheddar. I've missed mini cheddars.
Oh my god,
yeah. I used to eat them so much at home. I'd have like a packet every day and take them into like work and stuff. And these cheddar flavour shapes. Today's video is sponsored by Shapes.
I'm not gonna lie though, they're probably the worst flavour of Shapes.
Really?
Have you tried any other flavours?
No. Pizza flavour.
No, that's also good.
What the fuck's a chicken crimpy?
Chicken crimpy is amazing. Nacho cheese is the best.
What is chicken crimpy though?
It tastes like a chicken crisp. I don't know what crimpy is though. Like a parma. What are you saying now?
Back at homesick. January.
So I had a little bit of a wobble in January, and then I feel like I had one more after that. Like it was in Melbourne. I think it was just when the weather started getting bad here. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I don't even feel like I'm in Australia anymore, so I might as well be at home kind of. But other than those two times, like I've gotten over it quite quickly, and then I'm fine again.
It is turning wintry here. My office doesn't have windows where we sit, and I feel like I've just been missing out on vitamin D and sunlight, and that's probably getting me down as well.
Defo.
I already feel pale in the face. Like I do still see a tan on myself. Even if we do get a sunny day now, it's pretty cold. This is it now until I go home in August maybe. Like I'm looking at booking a flight because I don't know what to do for my birthday. And if I'm going to spend money on a little trip for my birthday to like, I don't know, New Zealand, it's like who will I go with? I don't know. Especially because Jamie's the only one who's going to be here then. Tian's going to have gone home. So Jamie's going to be my only like friend from home in Melbourne. And so I'm like, if I was to ask him to come like on a little holiday with me, like he's saving for what was supposed to be his birthday present, which was Bali, and we all want to go to Bali before this year is over, so he's gonna come here and save for that. So I'm just like, if I'm gonna spend like money on getting a flight somewhere and go somewhere for my birthday, why don't I just get a flight home while it's still summer for my birthday, spend a month at home. I was thinking of going home at like Christmas time, but then it's just going to be depressing because I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas anyway, and I feel like
we should book something for your birthday at home.
Yeah, so I could do that, like
Festival?
Yeah, a festival, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's look into what festivals are happening. Like there's Boomtown, but I feel like I might have to finish work a bit earlier if I'm gonna make it for Boomtown. But there's obviously my birthday's on the 24th of August, so like the weekend after that is normally bank holiday weekend where they have wedding and stuff, so it'd be good to see what festivals they have. We'll have a look later though. I'm thinking of doing that so that I can catch some of summer at home, because it'll still be relatively warm hopefully in August and September. And then in October, on our way back to Australia, which is going to be happening but like maybe like January next year, because I just feel like I want to travel, but Australia is so expensive to travel that I feel like I should just save as much as possible now and then go to Asia. And like
I'm so ready for Asia.
Yeah, and that way going over for Jamie's birthday, which was supposed to happen in June but is now happening towards the end of the year, or like September, October, it can just all be one trip. So hopefully what we can plan is like fly to like Thailand or something in September, October, and then do like Vietnam, places that me and Tian haven't done, and also Jess as well. Jess wants to come over.
And Bali. She wants to do Bali though, right?
Bali, Thailand, and she wants to move to Oz.
Yeah.
So, and just get as many people as possible, like, to come over and just do Asia together. So, somebody's asking on Vic's vlogs, how long are you staying in Oz for? So, the trip home will just be a visit, both for Tian and me. And then long term, I don't think I want to move to Australia and like live my adult life here. I'm an adult, but I feel like I don't want to live my 30s in Oz. I want to live some of my 20s in Oz. Obviously, we both want to come back for our second year.
Yeah.
And then when we're in our second year, we'll probably say the same about our third year.
Yeah.
Then we don't really have a choice because you can't stay beyond that unless you're sponsored.
Unless you get a sponsorship.
So unless me and you get...
But if we were in proper 9-to-5 jobs, which I plan to be in second year.
But in a career that you want, like in interior design.
Yeah. I guess there would be more of a chance for a sponsorship in something like that. But yeah, I'm just not sure I want to stay here past the age of 28, 29. Yeah, I don't know. I really like Australia for like having, for the age that we are now. But I would never want to settle here and live my whole life here, just because I think when the time comes that, you know, we are wanting to settle down and have kids, I want to be around my family when that happens.
Yeah, exactly, same. If you met an Aussie, you have their family. But like, I can't imagine being out here and then them not having like, just not having the support network. Like if you want to go out, would you get to look after the kids?
Yeah, exactly.
And not just that, but also my nan's so good with my cousin's kids, and like this actually seems so far away from me now than it did, because I thought with David we're gonna end up having kids and stuff, but now I'm like, I don't even have
I cannot imagine you doing that.
What? Settling down?
Yeah.
But like, think how settled I am when I'm in a relationship. Like,
I know. I don't know.
You don't want that. You can't accept it.
I won't accept it.
Tia needs me to go to festivals with her, like Pitch Festival. We'll definitely go there next year. Someone was saying to me it's good that you're out here and you have like the same interests, that we both like go into music events.
Yeah.
Jamie too though.
I feel like we both decided to come to Melbourne for the same reasons.
Yeah, because there's a big music scene here. You can come home at 10:30 AM if you want to, not looking at anyone in particular.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like there's too much of a sash scene in Melbourne. It's definitely needing a detox at the minute.
Home will give you that, because there's no clubs in Portugal.
Yeah.
It's just a funny thing, like we both want to live in this city, because I guess at home, like we're from a place that isn't a city, we're from like a smallish town by the seaside. So we've got a little bit of that here, and it is by the seaside. Let's be honest, I did like my life in London, so I was hoping to replicate that here, but I just feel like I need to like meet more people and stuff, but then how do you do that when you're working? So I think, like, to move on to the next question, like what's been the hardest thing? I think there have been really difficult moments and stuff, which I'll touch on now, but also just in general, like trying to balance like doing So I've been working some weeks like 52 hours, but then on the other hand, some weeks I've been working like 40 hours probably. And then it's like, how do you find the time to actually like invest in friendships and stuff? So like I went for brunch with Adele, who I met on the East Coast, and then went to like an event with her. But then you have to keep up friendships, because if you're not like living with someone or working with someone, it's really hard to make sure you see people, especially when you're not working. Especially when you're working, you don't have the time.
Oh, so much. I've never had to do so much job hunting in my life.
Would you say that's been one of the hardest things
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, hardest thing for me has been, jobs and just making sure that you're earning enough for rent. I think it's just like, it's a constant stress. It's like there are worse stresses to have, like it's a nice stress. I think if you speak to a lot of backpackers, like they'll say, as fun as it is, there is just like this constant stress, like, oh, am I going to run out of money soon? When am I going to get my next paycheck?
So much uncertainty.
It's so much uncertainty, yeah. Like, whereas at home, you're in a 9 to 5, you're in a stable job. You don't have any of that. You know what you're going to be paid.
I suppose
at the end of the month.
Do you know what? Like, we were all at home thinking, oh, so, you know, this is so, I'm stuck in a rut. This is so mundane, doing the same thing. Like, is this it? But it might actually make us appreciate having that stability.
Oh yeah.
I said the same thing about how working on a farm will help you appreciate working in an office, because now we can go home, settle back into our lives in our 30s and be like, I'm glad that I've got this like stability to raise a family, whereas here, it'll just make you appreciate it more.
Because I got a bit sick of my career when I was at home. Like, I was second guessing, thinking, do I even enjoy doing this anymore? I don't know if this is what I want to do. And then it literally took me about 2 weeks of doing hospitality work in a cafe, and I think I rang my dad being like, oh my god, Dad, I didn't know how good I had it working in an office. Like, I hate hospo. I've gotten used to it a bit more now. I don't hate it so much, but definitely I look forward to being back in a 9 to 5 office job now. I think I needed to come out here and realise that the alternative of working in an office, and realise that for me it's worse anyway.
Similarly, I could say I have to go into the office every day for this job with Welcome to Travel, which isn't different for you because you have to go into the office when you were working in Swansea.
Yeah.
I worked from home for like 3 years when I worked for Sainsbury's, and yeah, I would love it if I could be hybrid and spend like 3 days a week in the office, 2 days a week at home, so that you can have like, I've lost that time. So like, I remember when we went into COVID and stuff, and then everybody was like, oh, it's great because at lunchtime I can just put my washing on, and then I can like, I don't have to do the commute home, and I can spend that time cooking, and then I've got time to go to the gym after work because I've got loads of energy. I don't have that anymore because I have to go into the office and work 9 to 5 hours and actually have to be there, and the commute is like half an hour. So
yeah, I think like, I couldn't do what you did though and work from home 5 days a week. I think I would get a bit depressed.
Hybrid is the way to go.
Hybrid,
I just wish that I was able to do that in my current job. So it has almost made me like appreciate the balance that I was able to have at home.
Yeah.
In that, I could literally go lay on my bed at lunchtime, and I had an hour's break when I worked for Sainsbury's. I also only have half an hour, which is just about enough time to eat and look at my phone.
Yeah.
So at home I would like go for a long walk, or I would like spend time with the dogs, or I would like read like a couple of chapters of a book, whereas I'm not able to do that now. But again, it hasn't been the hardest thing. Like you said, there are worse problems to have. Battery's gonna die, so better round it up. Basically, another really hard thing has been being away from friends, obviously, so the dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about what's next. So Jamie comes to Melbourne in like a week or two. So Jamie will be here, which is great, more friends from home. Bali's delayed, so we were supposed to be going in June, but we're not anymore, going later in the year. I need to decide what to do for my birthday. Me and Tian will look at festivals and stuff. My current job is until mid-August. Tian's going home in June, mid-June. So I've got 2 months here without her. Cry. I feel weird when you're not here. I'm not sharing a bed with you.
So weird.
And we both want to travel Asia really bad. Another thing I want to do is do a ski season. So whether I do that in Australia, because they do get snow in Victoria, or whether I do that like in Europe or something, that's something on my mind that I really want to try as well.
I think that'd be class.
Yeah, I reckon we should do it together next year in Melbourne.
I would definitely do it.
Next year we should come to Melbourne January, February, March, because that's when pitch is on, that's when it's sunny. We can live in St Kilda for a bit. Then I don't know what we'll do April, May, June, maybe like Western Australia, I don't know. And then obviously the ski season is work, because you like...
So hospital, work on slopes.
Yeah. Not like ski instructor or anything, because I'm not that good at skiing.
I mean, I could probably be a skiing instructor.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm really good.
What slopes can you do? Oh, right.
I can't
You had
ski.
me.
I can ski, but I could not be an instructor.
You do reds, like comfortably?
No.
No, okay.
Blue,
We're the same
green.
level then, that's good.
Blue or green. I think I have done a red, but you know,
Slowly.
not slowly.
Yeah, not very elegantly.
No.
So it'd be really fun. Oh, we could share a bed there as well. So like some people,
Sharing a bathroom. My
when you're chalet hosts, maybe I was trying to tell you I was having a vision. When I squeezed your arm in school, I was like, me and Tian got our life together.
You saw it all.
I did.
You saw
I
it.
must have. Chalet hosts, they want couples because it means they can give one room away. That can always be an option. Anyway, we don't know what's coming next, but we will be vlogging it all. Thank you for joining.
Like a crocodile.
It's always awkward wrapping up the video, but yeah, thanks for watching if you got to the end.
I gotta get ready for work now.
Have you?
Yeah. I don't even have time to eat.
Shit, do you want some pasta? What have you got?
I got beans on toast. I could just have some toast to be fair. I'm still not that hungry.
I'm making risotto, yeah. Do you want some risotto?
What?
Like, I'll leave it for you to heat up when you get back from work.
I mean,
We're a married couple!
yeah.
I never cook for Tian. Like, I made risotto before and I was like, it tastes shit.
She made me tacos once actually. They were delicious.
No, I wouldn't.
They were.
Tian made me tacos back, but I forgot about it and
She
then
didn't
didn't
even
try
eat
it.
them. How rude.
Yeah, thanks for watching. This has been a review of 6 months in Oz. It's crazy that we've been here that long. And I've got 6 months left, which is mad. It's like, what am I going to do with that time? Will I spend some of it visiting home? Will I
Hopefully.
go to the outback and do my days? Will Tian finish her days on an egg farm with Steve?
Yeah, am I going to be pulling eggs out of chickens next week?
Pulling them.
I don't know how it works.
You might
Chasing
find
chickens
out.
around a farm next
Yeah.
week. That could be me.
Well,
Hopefully, because I need money really bad.
well, you're going to work, so at least you can get some money this week.
Yeah. Only 20 hours.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get ready to go to a Muay Thai class in St Kilda. Tian's gonna go to work.
I'm gonna go pour some pints. Oh, it's cocktail night tonight actually. Thanks, guys.
It's been lovely catching up with you, especially if you're someone we haven't spoke to in a while. I know you've really enjoyed this vlog. I know you've really enjoyed listening, so you should be thanking us, really. So
Thanks to our fans.
yeah, no. Thanks for watching. I do
I
hope
need
you
your
enjoyed,
needed.
and there'll be more vlogs to come, probably more filmed in Melbourne, so subscribe for more Q&As, more of Melbourne, and see where the fuck we end up.
We should make a little jingle.
Do you want to make a jingle for me? I'm no producer.
I'll think I'll have you have to
Garage
come back to me.
band.
Yeah,
Garage
garage
band.
band.
Phone. Just waiting for this to die.
Okay. Love ya.